If I think too much about school law, it can end up driving me crazy as a teacher. If I spend all my time documenting, and being afraid of somebody getting hurt or ended up in a court case, it kind of makes me crazy. I'm a science teacher after all, and I have to think about lab safety and all that. Well, sometimes with science teachers, they focus so much on lab safety that they quit doing labs. That's not the point, is it? So what do teachers in all areas do? One of the things that helped me the most to keep from going crazy thinking about safety issues and kids getting hurt and documentation is something that Nell Noddings, a feminist researcher, talked about, and that's the ethics of care. And as I began to think about what she was saying, I began to realize, there's some freedom here. Because what she talks about is how do we focus on caring for children and the ethics involved. Well, what that did is that freed me up because I had gone through a period of time when I had really thought deeply about lab safety and safety of kids in the classroom. I had my plans in place, but I found myself thinking more about the law and what 12 good people would say, and not kids not getting hurt and me not getting sued than I did about loving kids and doing a good job as a teacher. Well, that's where Nell Noddings' ethics of care help me out a whole lot, because what I began to realize was if I'm thinking about caring for kids, I'm going to do the right thing legally anyway. If I'm thinking about loving kids, I'm going to be thinking about their safety. First of all, right? If I'm really caring for my kids, then their safety is going to be one of my primary concerns. Yeah, I still document, but I don't document now to prove that I've done everything right. I document just in case the worst thing happens to protect myself if I were to end up in a court of law, but the documentation isn't my chief goal like it was a while back. My chief goal is caring for kids, loving them, keeping them safe, and as I focus there, a lot of the legal stuff is still in the back of my mind, helping me think through, make sure that I am acting as their parents, I'm keeping my documentation, I'm doing the right thing, but my whole motivation has changed. My motivation is no longer protecting myself if I were to end up in court. My motivation is protecting my kids. And that's given me a lot of freedom. And I do think that 12 good people would think that the decisions that I made a lot of sense if I'm thinking, number one, of how to care for my kids. See if that makes sense.